Tonight on Country Squire Radio, it's a holiday special, ladies and gentlemen. Not the holiday special. That's actually next week, but it is a special one about the holidays.
It's the holidays, and it's special, and it is special.
It's very special,
and we are special.
We
and y'all are even more special.
Yeah, very, very specialness over here. We are talking about, of course, Christmas tobaccos. It's going to be a lot of fun. We also have a pipe question of the week about choosing which pipe for which tobaccos. We got quick fire questions, listener feedback, and more happening right now on Country Squire Radio. Now, before I say the intro right here, which is what I normally jump into, I'm just going to check to make sure I'm recording. Yes, I am. Hashtag professionalism. Welcome to Country Squire Radio. See what happens.
And the eggnog isn't even open.
It's not even open.
I know, right?
It's not even open. That's the sad thing. Welcome to Country Squire Radio. I'm Beau.
And I'm John David.
JD.
Hey, Beau. Good evening, man.
Man, good evening to you, sir. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm doing really good. Man, yeah, just full gear around here, man. Things are going well. It's busy around the old pipe shop, and
it's the holiday season.
It is. You got Santa Claus and something else, and lots of toys. Yeah,
dude, lots of toys, man.
Lots of toys. Well, the shop is well stocked.
It is well stocked.
Yeah, it's well stocked.
You got inventory. You've got tins. You've got tobacco. I see like stacks of packages.
It's kind of funny because I need the shop by the end of the month to not be well stocked.
To be completely out.
That's kind of the goal, right? Yeah, not just from a from a retailer inventory standpoint, we just need it to go away.
Yeah, retail is a tricky game.
It is. You want it, you got it in it. That's a fun part of being on this side of the counter in a pipe shop. I get to own all these pipes for a little season, and then they leave. And my goal is I'm like the foster parent that has to try to find them the best home to go home to,
Have you ever seen the SNL sketch with James Franco as a Christmas tree salesman?
No.
Okay, so literally what you're describing was this sketch where it was like every single tree he like personified, and he was like, you did it. You finally found someone. Oh, they're going to love you so much. And like he's having these like little pep talks and these connections with these trees as they're being taken off. And it's you and your pipes.
That's exactly right. People come in. It's funny. I remember pipes that I've sold long ago. People come in and they'll have their pipe that they bought maybe in 2015. And then I remember selling you that pipe.
Yeah.
I remember that pipe going home with you. And I don't know. There's you're just finding their little kids are finding their little homes at Christmas time. It's great.
You're like a less attractive, more talented James Franco, man.
That's exactly right. Yeah, yeah.
I think that's the right note. I think that's what you want. That's what you want.
That's what we want.
Man, we got a lot of stuff that's going on here at the holiday season. Of course, we got to mention before we actually get into all of the stuff that's happening in the pipe world, especially in the pipe world surrounding the show. This past week was something of a Christmas miracle. Here in Jackson, Mississippi, we got not one, not two, not three, not even four, but reportedly 5 inches of snow
of the white stuff
in central, not cocaine, in central Mississippi. Now, normally it's the other kind of white stuff.
No, that's right. There's plenty of that. So
right down. That's another thing.
Right.
Yeah. No, we got the a ton of snow, man. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was really impressive. We of course folks from other parts of the country regularly laugh at us because if we get a half inch of snow,
the city shuts down.
The kids are out of school, the banks are closed, no one's at work. People are like, well, obviously everyone's running to the grocery store to get bread and water and all this kind of stuff.
It's Y2K all over.
No, it is. It's like, we might as well be in the middle of a hurricane or something. But we had 5 inches, and what was interesting, Beau, is that was the most snow I've ever seen in my life.
Is that true?
And you think about it, that was the. Now you've been to Grand Rapids.
I've been to Grand Rapids,
and I don't probably in the wintertime and stuff. But I've never been out of the South during the wintertime.
Oh wow!
5 inches.
Skiing? You never did any skiing?
Never been skiing.
Wow,
never been skiing.
Okay.
That was the most snow I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And that was the most snow Jackson has had since 1982.
I'll believe it.
And that's just a couple years before we were born.
Man.
So yeah, that's like. It was impressive.
Dude, the fam up in Grand Rapids, they didn't have that kind of level of snow that
No, they
day.
didn't.
Like it was.
Well, it's funny.
Crazy.
My family and friends, even in Houston, Texas, they were freaking out because they got like a half inch of snow, and so my aunt and stuff that they're making these great pictures of their. Oh, look how proud we're living like sweltering Katy, Texas, and it's like, our house looks all Christmassy. This has never happened before, and it was precious.
Dude.
It was really good.
Well, so it kind of reminded me of when I lived in Memphis, because in Memphis you get a good, decent snow about once a year that lasts just long enough to play with, and that was kind of this situation. But man, it was like for the first time in Mississippi, we did get the opportunity to make legitimate snowmen.
No, we did,
because typically the Mississippi snowman is about 80% dirt and leaves to 20% ice.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I
like,
mean?
well, it's wide enough. You think snow's in there.
Yeah.
But no, these were legit snowmen.
Completely legit.
And they're, as the local tobacconist / pipe dealer of our area, there was a big part of me that wanted to go out and find children and hand out corncob pipes. And just hand them out. I feel like we need almost like a snowman emergency starter kit. It comes with
That is not a bad idea.
It comes with a carrot and lumps of coal, a really cheap scarf, and a corncob pipe.
Yeah.
I think there might that might have legs.
Yeah, Phil.
Yeah,
there you go. You got it, man.
Our friends at Missouri Mission.
I was about to say
we got to get on that. They could collaborate with the folks at Dole Fruit and Vegetables and whoever makes charcoal. Yeah,
that'd be brilliant. Well, no, that's the thing. So we build up this snowman that is actually bigger than I am, or at least as big as I am.
That doesn't
it's not that big, no. but it's legitimate. And and as we're decorating it up, I tell the kids, I was like, hey, go grab one of my corncob pipes, because we mentioned it before. But I mean, I've got like, I've got at least 3 Country Gentlemen. Like I've got a lot of corncob pipes from our good friends at Missouri Meerschaum. And so the kids run in to go get my pipe. And so we finally get this beautiful looking snowman. We put a hat on him, a scarf. We've got the eyes. We've got the full carrot nose. And then boom, in goes my Country Gentleman. One of the Country Gentlemen, which I'm thinking, of course, is just, one of my spare Country Gentlemen.
Right.
Well, it's not until they push down the snowman and the pipe gets buried in the snow that I realized, no. That was my custom.
That was the Country Gentleman.
Custom gentleman.
That's
Country Gentleman.
Of all the pipes that you want to take care of, it was top 5.
Daddy's good pipe, and it was like, no.
Well, the good thing about it, of course, we're not even to the point where we plug them yet, but it's going to be a durable pipe, right? So
exactly.
it can take the weather.
It definitely can. But no, it was a beautiful time, man. It was a great time to get out a little Christmas miracle. Of course, you got some Christmas miracles coming up here. We got the Christmas party happening here at the Squire.
Here at the Country Squire, December 21st. That's next Thursday. Here at the shop, 6 p.m. If you're in the central Mississippi area or close by and want to be that night, you're more than welcome to come. We would love to have you. Man, other just kind of general housekeeping stuff. Someone that's very important to both of us is jumping the broom this week. He's getting he's getting married, and he actually it's Friday that he's getting married, and this person we're talking about, of course, is our intern, Caleb Crawford.
I think it's good to specify, because with your engagement and everything, a lot of people might think, okay,
he's talking about himself, right?
Yeah. Ran into a shotgun
it's
situation.
Someone we love very much, and it's obviously I love myself very much, but which I do. I'm very.
It's Caleb the intern.
Caleb is getting hitched this Friday.
And I just want to say I think that we joke a lot about Caleb the intern, but man, he does a great job. It's always great whenever I walk into the shop, see him here.
I couldn't do what I do without him. And I definitely couldn't.
His skills, man, like this blend that I don't know if y'all are ready to debut it yet or not, but he let me take a whiff of his current project, and it might be about time to upgrade him from intern to apprentice, if not journeyman. Like he's getting on up there.
He might even skip apprentice. Yeah, it's so interesting. I was talking with someone that came in today about Caleb. They were complimenting him, and and again, if you've ever experienced retail before, how amazing it is just to have the right person helping you.
Big time.
I mean, you're dealing with inventory and cash, and the trustworthiness is just off the charts and all that kind of stuff. But on top of that, all those things which Caleb does so well, he came to the Squire from the coffee world, and his we've talked about this before. His senses with all that kind of stuff are just so tuned in, and because of that, he is able to pick out flavors in these tobaccos that I struggle to pick out, and so I'm just really proud of him. He's working on finalizing an English blend right now that, and if you've listened to the Country Squire radio long enough, you'll know I don't smoke a lot of English blends, but he's wrapping up this English blend right now that I mean, it's one, and I'll just be honest. It's one of my favorite English blends I've ever smoked.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's like I look, I love our tobaccos. Obviously, we love them and plug them and sell them and all that. But I don't smoke a lot of English blends, and he did a fantastic job on that.
Well,
So
I'm looking for
proud to roll that out real soon.
real soon. How soon? Like 2018?
Probably first quarter 2018.
Okay, all right.
Probably January.
I'm looking forward to talking about that.
Probably January.
It's going to be a fun one. Of course, we've got a tobacco talk tonight. We've got some great tobaccos to talk about. But first, let's go ahead and run down through a couple things that y'all know about. We've mentioned it the last couple of weeks. Of course, we've got coming up here on the actually next week will be kind of our official Country Squire Radio Christmas episode, in which we will be judging and announcing the winner of the custom cob competition.
Yeah, that's right. We've got several entries that have already made it to the shop.
Yeah, absolutely.
And some of them all of them are stunning.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Really creative.
I'm really looking forward to taking a look at these and we'll be able to announce the winner. Now, for all the details on the competition, that's all available on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Country Squire Radio. There is still time, only just a little bit, to get your entries in. They have to be here at the shop by December 15th. In order to qualify,
that's right,
for the actual
have to be here that day.
Exactly.
That's right.
So be sure to get those
people
in.
driving their corncob pipes up from
you got to look. Hey, you got to commit, man.
No, I mean no. If you're in, you're in.
Yeah, I want to actually see somebody like literally sprinting to the door before you close, just make it by
it's
a bit of a
7:59 p.m. on Friday night or whatever.
Right. That's what we want to see. Also, of course, over on our Facebook page, we also have the best of 2017, which we posted out. We're taking in your suggestions for best of in terms of various tobaccos, pipes, and otherwise. All the details again available on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Country Squire Radio. And then finally, man, of course, we have got a new club member joining tonight.
Yeah, do we really? That's great.
Yeah,
at the Squire level, actually.
Joining at the Squire level, we've got Daniel Sanford.
Sanford.
It's Sanford, but I don't know how to mispronounce Sanford.
It's so easy. It's a. I see what you're doing now. Okay, yeah. It took me a minute. At first, I thought you were imitating like a goose. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Welcome, Daniel.
Daniel, thank you so much, brother. We're so glad to have you on board. And folks were asking. I actually had a conversation today with someone, about Country Squire Radio Pipe Club, and I just know that you that joined this are whether it's at the Squire level, the Pilgrim level, or even just helping the show weekly as a patron.
Right.
It is a really integral way to help support the show. Anything that we do, the content we provide you, not just equipment, but the occasional trips that we take and interviews that are made possible. All these things are made possible because of you, and so we're incredibly grateful.
Yeah, I got an idea that's inspired by something that a fellow club member, Mark VV, is actually tweeting into us. He's reminding us that Country Squire Radio Pipe Club will be celebrating its 1-year anniversary here at the beginning of the new
January.
Year.
Yeah,
that's right. And so he's saying, "Happy birthday, you pilgrims and squires." He says, "Just don't forget to blaspheme those pilgrims." Now here's the idea, and I'm just gonna throw this out there.
Pilgrims might want to blaspheme the squires.
What if we actually did some sort of program where we got the squires were given like we with their own pilgrim member? Like we say, you're assigned to so and so, and they have to blaspheme that person in a haiku. How about that?
What?
Yeah, let me rethink. Let me put some thought behind it. But what I'm saying is
maybe a little more thought.
Like get the squires to actually blaspheme the pilgrims.
Well, but what are the pilgrims going to do? They got to be able to defend themselves.
They're going to take it.
They can Morial the Sweet, or they can Shornu the Downser.
Yeah.
We'll find a Downser for them to Shornu.
We'll figure that one out.
That's right.
It's still in development.
Yeah,
but there might be something there.
Hey, one last thing real quick before we get into our content. At some point, we're going to talk about tobacco tonight. I know y'all are excited, but the Country Squire and Country Squire Radio are both again this year up for Best of Jackson Award.
Yes,
and so in our little hamlet, Jackson, Mississippi, we have these annual awards, Best of Jackson. It's a thing that local businesses come together and patrons vote on, all these kinds of things. So if you are a Mississippi listener, you should be eligible to vote on the Jackson Free Press website.
Absolutely.
And so we encourage you to do that. The Country Squire is up for best locally owned business, which I think is category 115, and of course, Country Squire Radio best podcast. And you've actually got is Let's Talk Jackson up, up again, right?
It is. I always feel
and you won it
about this.
last year, right?
Let's Talk Jackson
Exactly,
won last year, and I'm always a little nervous about this because I don't want to split the votes. Like it's
we're gonna split the vote, and then someone else is gonna win it.
Well, we'll see what ends up happening, but definitely for best business, definitely the Country Squire. And we know you love the Country Squire Radio podcast, so if you're here and you feel that is the best podcast in Jackson, by all means, please vote for it. But yeah, that it is always. I remember
that is funny because you've got a few irons in the fire, and actually in the near future you'll have some other content coming out, and so there will be these podcasts. You might be like all four of the finalists.
Well, I don't know about that, but I do remember very specifically last year. Like I was really nervous that either Country Squire or Let's Talk Jackson was not going to win because of potentially splitting the vote. And I was very surprised and honored that Let's Talk Jackson did win last year.
Yeah.
For best podcast Jackson, I would be thrilled one way or the other. Either one wins.
But we're more than anything, we're just so honored to be considered as the best locally owned business in our little city, and we're really proud about that. And it'd be a great way to honor our shop.
And thanks to everybody who nominated.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
Absolutely.
All right, man, we've got a fun show tonight. We, of course, are doing a little bit of a holiday-themed episode. It is a tobacco talk. Generally speaking, we've got a series of tobacco talk episodes that we do since the beginning of the show. And often, as has been the case for, I want to say the last 2 to 3 years, we generally do kind of pair it up where if you get a Squire Select episode, you immediately get a tobacco talk episode. Or
general.
Or vice versa. It's kind of mixed up from time to time. But one way or the other, this one comes at a great time. We are here at the holiday season. We've got a chill in the air. The snow is gone, but the cold has not left, and it probably isn't leaving anytime soon. And so it's great weather for enjoying a pipe, but it's also great weather for a sleigh ride together with anybody else. And so that I'm just kidding.
The way you looked at me and you set me up for a sleigh ride with me and then immediately shut me down was just was just incredible.
It was comedy gold, Jerry. But anyway, of course, it is the holiday season, and man, the great thing about the tobacco industry is that pipes and pipe tobacco is very much tied with Christmas, and it is always a reminder as we get so many great blends every single year.
That's right. That's right. So we do have a couple of tobaccos to talk about tonight. And as is tradition, we try to feature a couple. And one of them is a Christmas blend. We talk about all the amazing Christmas blends that come out. Obviously, over the past year and a half or so, the pipe industry is adjusting to this new kind of reality where the seasonal blends are hard to make now because the new rules and all this stuff. But one tobacco that we always have talked about before on the show, but never really done a review on, which I think is kind of curious, just because of how prolific it is a tobacco I thought we'd discuss tonight, and that's McClelland's Christmas Cheer. We've actually never done an actual review of it.
That can't be right.
I think that's correct.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've talked about it on and on and on.
Right.
It's one of our favorites. We discuss it quite regularly, but Christmas Cheer, in the past, we've even had like a top Christmas blends episode.
Right. Yeah.
But we've never really had it on an official tobacco talk.
Interesting.
As far as I can remember. So, but this is the time of year, folks that are longtime listeners of the show, will know that every December, early December, that's when I opened the previous Christmas Cheer from the last year,
right,
that McClelland comes out with. So McClelland, one of our favorite blenders tonight. Tonight's episode is kind of a tribute to McClelland. We've got a couple of their items which I'm really excited to share with you. But every year McClelland has done this. Mike McNeil and our friends up there, they find this small batch, exquisitely painstakingly crafted, tobacco leaves that have been cared for. I mean, it's the stuff that only Mike would have access to because he just knows the right people that grow the stuff, and so, they find these small batch tobaccos that have just been incredibly cared for, and that maybe back in the 70s and early 80s might have been prolific. You might have found these tobaccos everywhere, but nowadays are just very rare. These tobaccos are just not common anymore, and so just with how the industry's gone, the government subsidies to get these people to not grow tobacco and things like that have made these small batch, incredibly precious, high quality tobaccos harder to come by. And so every year we celebrate these small batch blends with a very small batch tobacco that
Yeah.
comes out in a limited basis, and then it's gone, and you'll never smoke it again. It's not like it's the same every year; it's different year after year. And so it's what we call Christmas cheer. And with McClellan, of course, they always do a great job. So
Now, what you have in your hand, is that this year's or is it last
this is
year's?
2016 Christmas cheer.
Oh,
That's
man.
right. So
this is your 10.
This is my personal 10 of Christmas cheer. So
Oh.
yeah, and actually this is not the first 10 I've gone through. So
oh snap.
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I thought this was like the opening of the Ark of the
No, I
Covenant.
know
type
it
moment
would be
here.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
it would be cool. If we open the Ark of the Covenant, I think some pretty bad things would
Yeah,
happen.
it'd be the reverse effect. But
Yeah. Anyway, so this is it's a beautiful tin, of course, if you're familiar with Christmas cheer, which most of our listeners probably are. Just an incredibly handsome red tin. It looks very festive. That rich, shiny gold foil leaf that's on the outside just really makes it lets you know you're smoking and opening something very special.
Yeah,
It's an incredibly special piece. For those that are newer, yeah, I'm always forgetful of the fact that we have so many new pipe smokers that find our show.
big time. Yeah.
So we need to try to make an effort to be more conscious of that, I think, on air. But for those that are newer to the pipe world, McClelland, one of our favorite tobacco companies in the world. I'm an admitted McClelland fanboy. They're an American company out of Kansas City, do incredible small batch tobaccos. Just real incredible people. But this is their yearly Christmas tobacco that they come out with. So on the back of the tin, McClelland's Christmas Cheer 2016 hand blended premium pressed Virginia flake pipe tobaccos, a fine vintage, naturally sweet, and limited in quantity. So that actually never changes. It always says that. So I'm gonna let you open that, and then we'll read a little more about it.
Yeah, and of course, as I pop this open right here, you mentioned, of course, with every single year it being premium, that means every single year, or or exclusive tobaccos that are available.
That's
in that
right.
time.
That's right.
That means every single year it is going to be very, very different to some extent, right?
You say very different. It's always going to be different, but they always shoot for that red Virginia and just typically solid Virginia, base. I mean, that's kind of where they're going. It's always a Virginia flake.
Oh, that's good.
And McClelland never does, we talk about flakes. McClelland never does what I kind of consider a proper flake. It's always kind of a broken flake. You open any McClelland quote unquote flake tobacco, you're going to open the tin and you're going to see these kind of chunks of,
it's like bacon chunks,
beefy looking.
Yeah,
they're meaty looking tobacco chunks that it's basically a flake that's been kind of thick cut and then just torn up into chunks. Yeah. It makes it really, it's polarizing. For me, it makes it really easy to tear apart and get lit. For some people, it's not. It's kind of the opposite of that, which is interesting. Some folks like a thinner flake, something we might think of as like a Dunhill flake, or a Peterson, like a Peterson University flake or something like that. But this is it's a thicker cut. There's kind of a heft to it that I think you don't find in a lot of other tobacco manufacturers.
So the pushback on that has to do with it being ease of ripping. I would have thought it would have been because since it's already pulled apart, it's not necessarily pressed, so you maybe lose some flavor that way.
Well, I haven't really experienced that. I think more of the beef with it is that it's just it's a chunkier cut.
Yeah,
and so you find that it's just maybe sometimes harder to rub apart. I've never experienced that. For me, it's real real plug and play, and I find it quite easy to crumble up. So each year they include this little thing inside the tin. It's always got a picture of Santa Claus smoking his church warden pipe, and then it tells you more specifically about this particular tobacco. Okay, so again, we've got kind of the general tobacco each year. It's a small batch Virginia, but this is what we're actually smoking tonight here. It says we are proud to offer a 2016 Christmas cheer pipe tobacco, an exceptionally fine vintage tobacco, hand blended and aged, pressed into cakes to develop natural mellowness. This 2016 blend is made with special selection of ripe red flue cured Virginia from a beautiful 2010 middle belt crop, superb leaf picked at peak ripeness. It is naturally
Ooh.
sweet, rich in oils. It should taste. It should age with distinction. Each buying season, we look for tobaccos of exceptional quality and distinctive character in various combinations. Their flavors, aromas, textures contribute to the overall excellence of all of our products. And so, if you're familiar enough with McClelland and with the people that own McClelland, Mary and Mike, you'll know they just only settle for the best Virginias, and they're the kings of Virginia. They really are. They're just going to find they're going to have access to the best. They really are, and the way they process them is very unique. Of course, you open the tin and you immediately smell that kind of McClelland, vinegariness.
Oh
That
yeah.
and what I like about Christmas cheer, it's always true, is that it dissipates very quickly when you light the tobacco. And so a lot of folks are like, man, I don't know if I would enjoy, smoking something that smells like that in the tin. But actually, when you light the tobacco up, it dissipates quite quickly. It's not like you're smoking Heinz 57.
So not in this instance. So I got to ask you though, how does 2016 stack up, right? Because I mean, like that's
Yeah,
the thing.
that's
You
right.
do this every single year where you take
Every year.
last year's and smoke it up. So how well, I guess
Yeah.
first, how does it stack up? And then also, I'm kind of curious of your experience. What year would you consider to be like the top tier?
Yeah, at least personally,
Yeah,
one that I would look back
John
with a
David
lot of
Select.
fondness. Yeah. So this, I think this Christmas cheer stacks up great. This is a spicier Christmas cheer than I personally remember in the past. So you've got um, it's very typical in the moisture level that you find with the kind of broken flake. That's what you would expect from the McClelland broken flakes. But from there on out, it's just it does have the spiciness that I think is not as characteristic with Christmas cheer that I've seen in the past. So that I think that would be kind of the uniqueness there. That it's just there's a robustness. It's a nice balance between rich and tangy. One thing you can always count on Christmas cheer for is that as you're smoking Christmas cheer, and again, these are tobaccos that beg to be sipped, right? You have to smoke these slowly,
Mm.
otherwise it'll burn your tongue.
Mm.
But as you're sipping this tobacco, the tangy ethereal sweetness just comes out in these little wisps, and you're so tempted to chase them by puffing harder, but you just have to continue to puff slowly, knowing that you're going to find them again. You got to work for them. They're like little fairies.
I was about to say, you just transported me to like a fantasy land.
These little tangy wisps that come in and out while you're smoking something like Christmas cheer. Ethereal. It's
Christmas cheer or Christmas cheer 2016.
I think always in Christmas cheer.
Okay.
I almost always find that, but this one is no exception to that.
Sure.
I think the distinctive with this tobacco is going to be, for me anyway, the spiciness to it. Now, again, this is all marketed as a straight Virginia. I don't detect any kind of Perique in this, but I think, or at least they don't advertise Perique. I think that they lead people to think, oh, it's got something like that in it. It's probably just that these are very ripe red Virginias that are just prime for smoking. Of course, this tin is a year old, obviously, and Virginias do well with age. We've always talked about that. What happens inside these canisters as they're aging. The natural sugar in there is just those our little friends, those microbes are just munching on those sugars and just making them better and better. As you're going along, and so but you'll have these kind of wispy, lemony flavors that come in and out. And again, this is a tobacco that you're tempted to puff quickly, but it rewards you for puffing slowly. And I think a lot of Virginia flakes from McClelland are like that. So
fantastic.
Tastes really good on a relight, which I think for a lot of tobaccos is rare. It has just the right amount of kind of a creaminess throughout the bowl as well. So really good tobacco, Christmas cheer. This particular vintage, nowadays might be a little hard to find, but if you find one at your local tobacconist, if you're out of town and are going, hey, let's see if there's a pipe shop around, let's go hit it up and see, and they've got one of these sitting around, man, snatch it up.
You gotta go for it.
You need to snatch it up. It's worth it, and I think I think you'll be pleased.
It's as special as it looks, and that's something McClellan
always
is always
is.
really good at
It
putting
always
together.
is. Yeah.
All right, so what we got next here?
Okay.
I'm
So
seeing something else special in the waiting in the wings.
that's right. So this is another tobacco that we've talked about a lot on the show, but we've never reviewed. And this is an incredible tobacco that is new to the market this year.
Interesting.
McClelland, of course, we're like we mentioned before, we just believe in what they do and think they're some of the best in the industry. But this was their 40th anniversary for their entire company.
Right. Yes. Of course.
They've been doing this stuff and have been the pros at it for decades. And so they made a tobacco that you would expect McClelland to make to celebrate their 40th anniversary. Of course, they call it a McClelland 40th anniversary pipe tobacco. It's in this gorgeous blue, royal blue tin. That looks good enough to eat, and it's got this great silver edition of the foil, can lining on there. So as you're contrasting the two
I was about to say,
cans together, it looks really. It kind of does look like something you'd put on your Christmas tree.
They look so very well together.
The blue and the red tins just again, with these particular tins, you're smoking something important and special and distinctive. It's really. They're just pros at it.
There's something it's because you think of Christmas cheer, and of course it is very much a Christmas container,
right?
But with the anniversary edition, there's almost something regal about
it. It's regal. That's a great way to put it. That silver, I think, really pops out. And of course, we're sitting here describing the aesthetics of the tin. Let's don't kid ourselves that that's not important, right?
No, exactly.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, people come in. I had a guy come in the other day, and he was like, "Look, I'm going to buy the prettiest tin you have." And he did. He bought a bunch of them, and he's like, I'm for that. Like, that's just, I can try the best tobacco on earth, but if I don't think the tin's pretty, I won't get excited about purchasing it. And McClelland's got that figured out, and they know if you don't think the tin's pretty to look at, you probably won't buy the tobacco.
Pipe tobacco, whiskey, any kind of alcohol, man. Like, no, the packaging.
The packaging's
is
important.
A large
it's
part
probably
of it.
Cigars are the same way.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
Yeah.
All right, so with the anniversary, is this container, has it been popped up?
Yeah, go ahead and open it. This is also a personal tin of mine. So smell this. I'll be interested to see if you detect any difference between this and what you just smelled in the Christmas cheer.
And of course, I don't have your palate, but this one does not come across as spicy.
Yeah. So this tobacco, again, this is McClelland we're talking about. They, in my shameless opinion, are just the kings of Virginia tobacco.
And you got that vinegarious, like
always going to have that McClelland kind of right out of the gate, ketchupy smell that some folks find endearing, some folks find a little off-putting. But I promise you, if you light the tobacco and power through, it goes away, and you'll really, really enjoy it. But the chunks, the flakes within the anniversary blend are a good bit larger than the chunks within the Christmas cheer blend, and so that's one of the immediate things that you can recognize there.
There is a lot of similarity between these two blends right here.
There are a lot of similarities, certainly on the tin note, though.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I think, and honestly, I was, I'd be surprised if you would be able to find a whole lot of difference between the two tin notes.
It seems like the tin note for Christmas cheer is much stronger.
Yeah.
In terms of the flavor kind of hitting you.
Yeah.
Whereas the anniversary, while again still you've got that vinegar that comes in pretty strong, it's much more like subtle.
It's subtle. Again, these are, this is McClelland. They're the kings of Virginia, and so they made for their big anniversary blend a rich, red Virginia flake. That's what they did, and so it's not going to have the complexity of the Christmas cheer. This is not, even though these are small batch tobaccos, and this is certainly some of the highest quality tobacco you can find. It's not going to be the small batch to the level that Christmas cheer is, right? This is something that they're going to continue to offer from here on out, depending as long as they can find the tobaccos to make it. But they think they can, and this is something that we look forward to seeing in the years down the road. Yeah.
So in all of McClelland's tins, do they do the kind of the rounds? There's a lot of tin tobacco. Of course, you got kind of the packaging that kind of folds in on itself.
Yeah.
With both of these, you've got more of the disc almost that kind of rests on top. With the Christmas cheer, you got Santa Claus. With this
That's
one,
right.
You got kind of the anniversary text.
Just anniversary text. This is typically just seen on some of their special edition tins. Yeah. And so generally on others they won't have kind of the descriptive thing that you find with it. But
all right, we know Santa Claus watches live. Well, I guess we don't know if he watches live, but we know that Santa Claus listens to Country Squire Radio.
Right.
Dear Santa, both of these, please.
But does Mrs. Claus listen? Right.
Yeah. Well, let's hope so.
So with the 40th anniversary, you've got a rich, hefty tobacco. It's got a heft to it. I think of this almost like a rich Merlot, or something that's got a thickness in the mouthfeel to it. It doesn't have the tang of Christmas cheer. It's more of just kind of a rich, mellowness that I think is real pleasing. And again, without kind of that ethereal, sweetness that you'll find. So not the complexity of Christmas cheer, but certainly, just a consistency and a beautiful richness to it. Again, another tobacco that is going to be, it begs you to smoke slowly. This is going to beg you to smoke, to puff at a slow cadence. I always tell folks, you don't smoke these tobaccos if you're ever doing anything, if you're in a hurry. These are tobaccos to sit on your porch and scratch your dog behind his ears and enjoy the flavor. Like you're accomplishing something when you're smoking this tobacco. You know what I mean? Like you're going to work for it, and it is going to reward you in spades. I mean, it really will. So, again, a rich tobacco, kind of lacking some of that, tang that the Christmas cheer has, but also, got plenty of heft to it. I think a pretty good nicotine kick, on the 40th anniversary is something that, kind of surprising. You think with those red Virginias, it would be a little less so, but for me, I tend to see that. Really consistent tobacco from bowl to bowl. So this is the 40th anniversary. This is a tobacco that, it doesn't change a lot, when you're smoking it throughout the bowl, but from bowl to bowl, it is incredibly consistent. And I love that in a tobacco when you find, something that's like that. Easy to keep lit, very easy on the relight. Doesn't taste ashy. Again, one of those that, to relight it, it's very pleasing. There's some plum flavors that are in there, which I think, no raisins at all. There's absolutely no raisins, but lots
God
of,
forbid.
like, God forbid. But yeah, I think just a real nice round, plum flavor, and again, I think this is, there's just a nice richness here that we'll be able to see going forward, that isn't able, with the Christmas cheer. Again, you're kind of, limited by the year-to-year crop, but this is something that they can continue, from here on out, for at least the foreseeable future, and we're excited to have it around. So, just a couple of great pairs. We, love the folks at McClelland, and, yeah, Christmas cheer and 40th anniversary, and, man, if you can get your hands on either one of them, the 40th anniversary is pretty readily available now, and I know we've got it on our website. Other retailers have it too, and, really encourage you to check it out.
Man,
so, yeah,
great tobaccos,
good stuff, man. Really good stuff.
Season, man.
Yeah.
There's a specialness about both of these, and it's
such a treat. A treat.
It's a good one. Now, the great thing is, whenever we're doing a tobacco talk and present you with, various tobaccos and tobaccos to review, we love for you not just to take our word for it, as LeVar Burton would say, but to go check them out yourself. And as you're checking out different, kinds of tobaccos, you want to make sure that you're being able to get all of those little nuances, so that the little wisps and fairies that John David described can flow through your pipe. And what better way to get that experience than with one of the Cobbett series from our good friends at Missouri Meerschaum?
That's right. Missouri Meerschaum, of course. Proud sponsor of Country Squire Radio. We love their pipes. They came out with a few years ago the incredible Cobbett series of pipes, right? Which we love. They've, got the Shire and the Dwarf. For a while, they had the Wizard. But they have these great pipes that are essentially, corncob pipes that kind of favor churchwarden pipes to some extent, right? I mean, that's what we're going for here.
It's the Lord of the Rings. So many different people come
right.
into kind of, the pipes and the pipe cultures, specifically through Lord of the Rings, and through that kind of churchwarden, mythical experience that they've got, either from reading the books, either they pulled from the books, or saw from the movies.
Well, what I love is a lot of those people came for that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but they stayed with the pipe because they found quality tobacco, and quality pipes like these.
Absolutely.
So, the Cobbett pipe, the dwarf Cobbett pipe, is just a really handsome, kind of a small apple bowl. It's not quite a full churchwarden length. It's got, a 7 or 8 inch, length stem there. But I think this is one of the higher quality, stems that Missouri Meerschaum puts out. It's just real, consistently made. This is, a pipe that, is well manufactured and put together, which you would expect from any of their products. So again, those longer stems, like the one with the dwarf pipe from Missouri Meerschaum, it is going to cool the smoke down even that much more, and give you that opportunity to really sample a tobacco and get a pure flavor. So we love these Cobbett series pipes from them, and certainly the dwarf is included in that.
Check out the dwarf pipe. If you've got one, like seriously, if you've got one, and I know we say this every week, but smoke it
this week in particular.
This week in particular, because I always feel the Cobbett series, the dwarf kind of gets the short end of the stick. No pun intended in that. but seriously,
not just, you were mentioning though even before the show, like not just the Cobbett series. You feel like dwarves kind of get
dwarves get a bad rap.
Get the raw end of the deal kind of all around.
I'm pro dwarf all the way, man.
You look like it.
Well, thank you very much. I take that as a compliment because I am short, stocky, and very strong. Thank you very much. But no. When doing the whole D&D thing, I had my dwarf when I was doing when I am doing World of Warcraft. I've got my dwarf paladin. I'm down with the dwarves, man. That's the way to do it.
That's all very fantastic.
Get the dwarf cloud pipe spoken this week. Take a
whether
picture
you play
yourself.
D&D or not.
When you do, be sure to send that in to us. We'll retweet it out. It's a great way to let Missouri Meerschaum know you appreciate them for sponsoring this show.
That's right.
All right, man. Pipe question of the week this week comes in from listener Kyle. Kyle writes in, he says, just discovered the show and binging to catch up.
Man, thanks for finding it. We're glad you found us, Kyle. It's great.
Absolutely. He says, even though I am a noob to the pipe game, I feel that I could walk into the Country Squire, enjoy a good smoke, good liquor, and not be looked down upon by due to my ignorance of the hobby. Question. Do you have certain pipes for certain tobaccos? For instance, a pipe for just Virginias, a pipe for English, and so on and so forth. Or does it matter as long as the pipe is cleaned very well? Also, JD, do you rotate pipes throughout the day while you're working, or just keep repacking the exact same one? Keep up the great work. And again, that is from new listener Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle, great question, man. And I think, yeah, dude, of course, if you came to the shop, we would do everything we could to make you feel.
You are most welcome here.
Make you feel comfortable. Yeah,
absolutely.
There are no stupid questions here at the Country Squire.
Just stupid me.
Just stupid people, right? Man, yeah. So, do you have certain pipes for certain tobaccos? Again, the purist and the tobacconist behind the counter is generally going to tell you yes. You're going to want to. Now, okay, let's start from scratch. You're a newer pipe smoker, and you're trying all these different blends. Am I going to encourage you, as someone that wants you to get excited about the hobby, to immediately start discriminating between, put aromatics in this new pipe you buy, you need to go buy another pipe for this? I mean, at first, it's going to be kind of you trying a little bit of everything in whatever pipe you've got your hands on. But what you're going to find, Kyle, as you go on, is that you are going to want, if you continue with pipe smoking and enjoy it, and it seems like you do, you're going to want those flavors to mix less and less because your palate is going to become more sophisticated. And as your palate becomes more sophisticated, you're going to be able to note when that Latakia mixes with an aromatic, or a blueberry flavor mixes with your favorite Virginia. You're just going to start realizing these things. And so how we get around that is we dedicate pipes to certain types of tobacco. And what that does is just lets you enjoy the flavors in a more pure fashion. Some tobaccos are particularly bad about ghosting pipes. We, think of aromatics and heavy English blends that have the Latakia. These flavors just don't pair really well. I've always said personally, Virginias can kind of play the fence. If you're a Virginia smoker like me, a lot of times I can get away with putting a Virginia in any type of pipe. But then again, I've got pipes that I only smoke Virginias out of. So it just, you can kind of go either way. It's a little more forgiving. But yeah, so we typically recommend, as you get into pipe smoking more, as you are enjoying it more, as your tastes are becoming more sophisticated, and as you grow your pipe collection as well. A lot of, when you're right out of the gate, you're going to have, you might have a couple of pipes and that's it, but yeah, start to, look at maybe putting certain types of tobacco in different types of pipes. What most people do is they'll have an aromatic pipe and an English blend pipe. And then if you're a Virginia smoker like me, you'll probably have a Virginia pipe. And then sometimes if, I am bad about this as well, I'll just smoke a Virginia in either pipe because Virginias are just easy and so forgiving. And so, That's what I do. I think that's what most seasoned pipe smokers are gonna recommend. I do find myself. I'll mention this, and this kind of plays into the second part of your question, Kyle. Do I have pipes that I smoke throughout the day, or do I kind of rotate them during the day? And I find a mixture of both. Right, like I'm bad about if I just really love a pipe and just enjoy using it so much, and I've had such a great smoke out of it. I A lot of times I'll reload it immediately. You didn't hear that from me, and nor did the world.
Interesting.
But you're really not supposed to do that. You're supposed to let your briar rest. But me, you're asking what I do personally while I'm here throughout the day at work. A lot of times, if I'm enjoying a pipe and I know it's a high quality briar made from a reputable manufacturer, where they've aged the briar, I've built a good cake in the pipe. Occasionally, and I'm just really enjoying it that day because I've been able to connect with it. Again, we're romantics here, so we love connecting with these pieces of wood that make up these beautiful pipes that we use and smoke. Sometimes I will reload a pipe, but on average, or generally, we're supposed to let our pipes rest for a day or two before you smoke them again. So typically, though, unless that connection does happen, it happened yesterday. Actually, I smoked my Bing's favorite. This is, who would have thought that I would, fall in love with my Bing's favorite all over again. It happens every week, but I smoked it 3 times in a row.
What were you smoking in it though?
I smoked 2 bowls of Caleb's new
the new hotness.
the new English blend that he's finalizing, and then I smoked another bowl actually of Old Toby. Which is interesting. So, and again, I'm kind of breaking my own rules there. So you've got an aromatic tobacco and an English blend tobacco, but sometimes you want to just smoke a certain pipe more than you want to do anything, and sometimes that's the fun of it, So,
Kyle, I hope you're learning that it's an art form, not a science.
That's right. That's exactly right. I know. I'm just sitting here blabbering, and everyone listening is like, "Hey, he's contradicting himself at every turn."
But that's the beauty of it, man.
Yeah. Typically, though, a purist and on a normal day, what I'm going to tell you to do is, discriminate once you build up your, kind of find out tobaccos you like and get a few pipes in your collection. Put different types of tobaccos in different pipes. I think that the purity of the flavor will reward you if you do that. And then also you want to be sure to rotate your pipes. Occasionally, like me, you might just really be jiving with a pipe that day, and you might smoke it 3 times in a row. You know what? It's a Savinelli Bing's favorite, and if you do that once in a while, it can take the heat.
It's a cast iron skillet. Just compare it to the cast iron skillet.
It's a cast iron skillet.
What did I say?
Cask.
You're
thinking of bourbon.
Oh, yes, I am. It's a cast iron skillet.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
But I mean, like the reality is, if you like cooking biscuits in this one, you're gonna want to cook biscuits. But if you got to cook a steak and it's the only thing around, you're gonna cook a steak and with a biscuit.
You might. Yeah.
You just gotta do it. That's part of it.
Anyway, I hope that's clear as mud. But yeah, man, thanks for finding us. On average, you do want to rest your pipes, but do as I say, not as I do, all the time.
Yes.
Right.
Excellent advice. Great question in, Kyle. And hey, if you've got a pipe question of the week, you can send those in at show@countrysquireradio.com. Also, it's super simple. If you go to countrysquireradio.com, there's a little contact us button in the top right corner. You can use that as well. Again, that is countrysquireradio.com. Quick back with Joe! Ow! All right, man. These come in from thispipelife.com. Thispipelife.com, an amazing online community that we will talk to you more about in just a moment. This is from Mezzo Duo Mo over there at thispipelife.com.
Bless you.
I think I actually pronounced it correctly.
You may have.
All right, here we go. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
Depressed corporate drone or failed entrepreneur?
Wow, this is so sad.
You're getting kind of close to the chest on that one.
Cutting close to home there. Yeah, I don't know, because I actually think I've been both in my life. I think I don't know if you have. I've been both though. On this side of the fence, I'm going to go with failed entrepreneur.
Right, between the two of them.
I think between the two. Yeah, it would rather be a depressed corporate drone or a failed entrepreneur. Probably a failed entrepreneur.
I will say,
I feel like we're reading the death of a salesman.
I know,
or something.
there's some sort of dramatic thing there. I will say that so in my I never really considered myself a corporate drone back when in my corporate days, but at the exact same time, when it comes down to it, I remember when I left that job to start Podastery, my mindset was it'd be like I would consider it a stronger failure to have never tried than to have tried and failed.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so I would much have rather be a failed entrepreneur than anything else from that standpoint. So I'll go with that one as well.
Okay.
All right. Flat tire or out of gas?
Man, all these questions are like awful.
Yeah.
I would rather be out of gas.
Yeah, because that's fairly easy.
Yeah, we can fix that.
You got a
flat tire.
Do you keep an empty tank in your car?
No, I probably should. No,
Yeah, it's
but I mean,
good.
you know, there's AAA, and you got friends that, you know, we live in Jackson. There's always someone, you know, that you can call and be like, "Hey, come bail me out of trouble," and all that.
I'm not always in Jackson. Although now with Uber, I don't have a car anymore. So yeah, definitely out of gas, because it just seems like an easier situation. And having had to, you know, patch a flat tire off the side of the road more times than I'd like, it's just the worst.
Yeah.
So yeah,
out
of gas. Broken tooth or broken finger?
Oh my gosh, these are so awful.
Mezzo Duomo, who did what to you, buddy?
I know, right? I'm gonna go with broken finger, because you can reset that, right? You'd rather have a broken tooth?
Yes. You just patch up the broken tooth. You just put some clay in it or whatever. With broken finger, you don't.
I hope there's a dentist listening.
Oh, my dentist knows me.
Put some clay in it or whatever. Yeah. Next time, I'm going to recommend that next time you have a cavity, that we're just going to put some clay in it.
Have I told you about my theory that my dentist is a drug dealer?
Maybe we should talk about this some other time.
Yeah, that is a good conversation for off mic. Good conversation for off mic. Leaky roof or flooded basement?
Leaky roof.
Yeah.
I've had both, actually.
Yeah, we live in a very old neighborhood in very old houses, and so both of those are definitely a prevalent thing. Actually, flooded basements for me has been the easier of the two to deal with, so I'm going to go flooded basement.
Okay.
All right, and then finally, no friends or no family. Mezzo Domo.
These are so sad.
What is wrong with you, buddy? Somebody give Mezzo Domo. Oh, now I'm mispronouncing it. Somebody give him a hug.
Yeah,
give him a hug.
He just needs a hug.
Yeah.
I would go no friends or no family.
Your mom is watching. I just want you to know that.
No friends. But see, my family are my friends, and my friends are my family.
Yeah.
And so, you know,
gosh, that is really difficult. At different stages of life, the answer might be different, but my wife and kids, I can't give them up. So I'd have to go no friends.
No friends.
Yeah. Sad.
I'd miss you, Beau. I'd miss you.
I'd miss you too. Wait, your family though. See, this is where
it bleeds over, right?
It gets a little. Yeah.
Can we talk about things that aren't depressing at Christmas time?
Yeah. Well, here's what's not depressing. The good folks over at thispipelife.com, where there's
exactly right.
Awesome conversations going on that are not always depressing. And in fact, there's a lot of great uplifting debate, conversations, and things that are going on in the industry as a whole. Now, if you've not checked out thispipelife.com, you absolutely should. Over there, you'll find experts and novices alike who can kind of help you along in your pipe journey. It's also a very visually stimulating site in that it was not developed in the 90s. No, this was in fact a very, very high-tech and constructed site.
That's right.
I really encourage you, if you haven't checked it out again, thispipelife.com. Use the code CSR when you do.
That's right.
Because when you do, it lets them know that you heard about it right here on this show, and it helps out the show a little bit, which is always really great.
So great folks over there. Really good resource, and certainly modern and up to date, which I think is very, very rare among
in the pipe industry.
In the pipe industry, we love what they're doing over there, and hope you check them out.
Absolutely. Again, that's thispipelife.com. Use the code CSR when you visit thispipelife.com. All right, man. Listener feedback. I tell you what. Let's. We're kind of pushing on time this week.
It. Yep.
So I think let's do this. Next week we're gonna have a lot of great listener feedback. But we do have a review in from iTunes that, honestly, as I was kind of typing it out, I was like, where's this going? But I think you'll like it. This comes in from One for the Ages.
Okay. All right. On iTunes, he says the Adam Carolla show. The Adam Carolla show is absolutely amazing. The production value shines. Where is this going?
That's what I'm saying, right?
The production value shines through every aspect of the show. The content is always superb. A perfect balance of ethos, pathos, and logos. It's funny, topical, and insightful. Is he going to talk about us?
Eventually.
It has some of the best guests in all of podcasting, but it is not as good as the Country Squire Radio podcast.
There it is.
Wow. He finally got to us, and that, man, what a compliment. Not even close, he says. That is a show. Listen to Country Squire Radio instead. Dude, He's putting us up against some heavyweights.
That's
here.
high praise.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're right. You're right. And
this
this,
one for the ages, man. It's really really kind.
he talked about us as much in this review as we talk about pipes in the first 20 minutes of the show.
I know.
Man. It's really, there's a lot of meta stuff that's going on.
I know,
in this
right?
review.
I know.
love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
man. That's great, dude. We're so thankful for you. And those iTunes reviews help us a lot.
Now,
too.
here's the thing. Go to the Adam Carolla show and let everybody know, like, do the same thing, but talk about Country Squire Radio and then talk about Adam Carolla.
No, that's right. Yeah.
And then we'll work it out that way. We'll work it out that way.
Dude, just some live feedback real
Absolutely.
quick tonight. Our friend at Hoctor the Love Doctor, he said that he thinks whoever wrote those questions tonight for Quickfire was listening to Alanis Morissette's Ironic song. Of course,
don't you think?
Our friend Gene Bowker posts a GIF of the seven dwarves walking. He's asking which one is Beau, and of course, Pappy Joe responds as Dopey because he doesn't have a beard.
This is a beard. This
Right.
is, I haven't shaved. Like I was gonna shave this morning, but then I was like, no, I want to. If I shave this morning, then country. Never mind. And Dopey's appropriate. Good on you, Pappy Joe. I like that.
Our friend Kilted Pipe Guy, he says, my first ever taste of Christmas cheer was a tin from 1990, something at this year's Chicago show. I have to say I enjoyed it, and I'm considering getting some delivered to Scotland. So very good. Yeah, pretty awesome.
We also want to give a shout out to John Simpson, who is joining us for the first time for the live show tonight.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Man, welcome, John. It's awesome.
We also want to encourage all of you, if you've never checked out a live show, you absolutely should. We go live on Monday nights at countrysquireradio.com. Now, just a heads up. So next week is our big Christmas special, custom cob pipes, winners announced, talking about some other different tobaccos, maybe even some that are blended right here by the geniuses behind the tobacco bar. A lot of fun stuff happening next week. So we really encourage you to do that. But also next week, with it being our Christmas special, it's also our last episode for the year.
Live episode of the year?
Is that right? I'm not 100% sure. But I know that our New Year's episode will also be recorded live. So how it all plays out. Here's the thing. We're off for Christmas. So, but we will have a new episode coming out that week. So podcast listeners.
New episode, but not a live show on Christmas Day.
Exactly.
Right.
So next week live, the week following not, one way or the other. CountrySquireRadio.com is the place to find us Mondays next week and the week following that. And of course, again,
he's losing it.
I'm losing it. After hours happening here at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, 6:30 Pacific, and 9:30 Eastern. You can, of course, follow us throughout the week as well. You can follow me. I'm at the Real Beau York.
I'm at John David Cole, or you can get us at the shop at _Country Squire.
And all that information and more can be found at CountrySquireRadio.com. Man, I did kind of. The problem was I was trying to find the time in the notes.
In the Matrix.
Oh, I failed miserably.
No, you did great. You saved yourself.
Oh, hey, it's Star Wars. It's Star Wars week.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Too bad it's the same day Caleb's getting married.
I wouldn't know. I just got invited to his wedding not 5 minutes before we went live, and I told him I can't go. I'm going to Star Wars, and I will tell you, Caleb, the intern, the same thing that I've told my wife and my two precious children. Don't make Daddy choose between. Well, don't make me choose between Star Wars and you. You're not gonna like the answer.
You know, golly,
Star Wars came first, and that's all.
Star Wars even predates us.
I'm just
So
saying.
I don't know. I hope
saying.
you didn't tell your children.
No, of
that.
course not, man. I'm a good parent.
Let's go have a night.
All right, man. All right, let's go have a night.
See you, brother.
All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for joining us tonight. Really,
yeah, we had a great time, y'all. It's always good to see you. It's been so fun this Christmas season, man. We've just had folks. I don't know. I feel like our listenership is closer to us now than it's ever been. We've had so many folks stop by and call the shop and just wish us happy holidays and everything. We're incredibly thankful for you. We really are.
And give us booze too, which is always
I
great.
know, right? Golly,
yeah. Y'all have been stocking us up. Like that's. I mean, like you know, everything is so very wonderful. But whenever I walk into the shop and you're like, "Here's this new thing of like whiskey that you've never seen," I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And you tell me they're like, "Oh, so and so give it to me." I was like, "Oh, this looks amazing." You're like, "Yeah, we got to save it for Squire Select."
I know.
Like,
but I want to lick it.
All right, guys.
Man, y'all have a good evening. See you
next week. It's gonna be fun.
Good night.
Will we be in costume?
No.
No.